This video shows you how to make perfect and easy dovetail joints with your scroll saw. I've got to admit that dovetail joints have always intimidated me. To me, dovetail joints are the epitome of perfect joinery. And because I'm a pretty ordinary woodworker, I always thought these were beyond me. But let's begin. I drew some simple plans in CAD and put some marks to show where the angles need to be cut. I've set the angles at 20 degrees and I've used a number 12 scroll saw blade to cut the angle cuts. Cut one set of angles, then change your scroll saw to the other side of the 20 degrees and cut the other side angles. To cut the angle pieces out, I made a simple jig with two 20-degree angles. Now I put a number 1 scroll saw blade in the saw and slide it in sideways into that great big gap that the number 12 blade made. I'm just pushing on the back of the blade a little as I slide the blade in, and then I can cut along the line till about halfway, being very careful just to make sure that it's accurate, and then I just tip the jig up and cut it the rest of the way, and the angle piece will pop out. Nice! Look at that! Looks perfect. And here's the angle side, completely cut out. I like to put the angle sides on the side of the box so that the angles can be seen on the front of the box. Now for the straight cuts. These are easy. Just cut them out like you would a box joint. The blade is set back to 0 degrees and simply cut it out as normal. I've reverted back to my normal number 5 blade for these cuts. Because these pieces are angled in, they're not just going to pop out, so just be careful taking them out so that you don't damage the wood. Now that I've got a side and a front made, I can't help myself, even though I'm not finished cutting yet. I've got to see whether these things join up nicely. Yep, they're going to be a tight fit, which is good. Okay, not too bad. Now I've got all the pieces assembled and I have a look at how closely it fits. I can see that that's a little proud there, but I'll be able to sand that off. It's because I didn't quite go to the line on my cuts there. I'll have to do better next time. Now I run a little super glue into the joints and then rub a bit of sawdust into that to cover up any tiny little cracks or holes that might be left. I'm also doing something new for the lid. I'm cutting out the lid on the same 20-degree angle and making it a sliding lid top. As I'm using 1/4 inch timber for this, the bottom of the angle needs to be a bit less than 1/4 inch so that the top will slide on the top of the box rather than fall into it. Give all the sides a final sand on the sander with the top and the bottom in place so everything fits perfectly. I've glued in a magnet on the top and the bottom of the box so that the lid clicks in firmly and accurately. I should have used 1/4 inch magnets for this, but I found that I didn't have any, so I made do. You'll notice I used a half of a 1/2 inch dowel to hold the magnet. The top slides itself in the last bit as the magnets come together. Just look at those joints. Are they a thing of beauty or what? I might be just a doddering old fart, but I'm really happy with those joints. I got in touch with my feminine side and used lavender infused beeswax for the finish. One last slide at the lid and it clicks into place. That's nice. This process has worked first time with no rework, so it's obviously dovetail joints from now on. Those box joints are obviously just for amateurs.